Hey AfterBuzzers, thank you so much for tuning in to another live episode of Bring It. This is season 3, episode 13. We are going to recap. Did Mimi end up getting her butt done on Atlanta Plastic? We finally get to see his 3 times a charm. Who wins Battle Royale? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world? Girls.
Who run this? Hey, hey, who run this? Hey, hey. And we have 2 extra girls in the studio tonight.
Yay.
Yes, we do. Hey. Welcome, you guys, to another fantastic episode of Bring It. I am your host, English Cleveland, and I am joined by my favorite girls of Monday night.
What's up, guys? My name is Robin Ayers, and to my left,
Tamra Brown. Here as always.
Here's always, and let's get into this episode.
Yes.
This is such a great finale.
Drum roll.
High pressured.
yes.
Very emotional.
Emotional is a great word.
Yes. I was waiting to cry this season, and I haven't cried all season until this episode.
Did you cry past seasons?
Yes, every episode.
Really?
And, like, my sister would say, like, something is wrong with you. Like, you cheer for these girls like they're your own children, or you act like you're a dancing doll. Like, I watched it every single Friday. When it came on, I didn't have to DVR it. I was there. People were out in the club. I'm like, let me get into Bring It.
Yes.
Robin would be like, why were you were really crying? I'm like,
she
I
so
cried.
loved these dolls, and I have to agree with you. Although I did not cry, I was very, very, very moved and teary-eyed.
Yes.
I'll say that. I was teary-eyed.
Yes.
So, yeah, I agree with you. It was great.
So this episode, we got a chance to see that this whole, I don't want to say season, but these last few weeks were very heavily surrounded by Cameron. Everything was about Cameron, and the pressure was on her. But I like the way that they boosted her up and gave her confidence as well, and made her feel like a leader.
Yeah.
And that, you know, everyone is supporting her.
Yeah.
We got a chance to see the moms, you know, them having their issues, you know, past weeks of them not really being supportive of Cameron, but like we got a chance to see in the battle, they were 100% wearing Cameron shirts.
Behind her.
And there was a moment where when they were all in the viewing room, and Mimi was talking about, you know, like her butt and stuff, like if she was going to get it done, and they were all laughing, and there was a moment where Mimi was like even reaching over and like touching Dana, and I was just like, oh, you know, not that Mimi and Dana ever had a problem per se, but it was just, I know that she was sort of the outcast originally, and now it was like this camaraderie, and I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Right. And speaking of camaraderie, we got a chance to see later on in the episode that even Faith's dad shows up, and he's even leading the chants of DD4L. So I'm like, whoa, we've really made a transition, and it's so great to see them all on such a great page
whenever
at
the
the end of the
dads show
season.
up.
Yeah, the dads are fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
So are you going to say when we get to the part, are you going to tell us when you started crying?
Yes,
Okay.
I will. But let's first get into the non-crying part, the practice. So the dolls are having to redo everything. Everything is completely brand new. None of these stances, none of these moves are going to be, are old. All of them are new. So Miss D's deciding to use the whole squad, which was such a great idea, because when you have someone like Cameron who has a lot of pressure and who has the team riding on her back, she needs the whole team. And if you're going into battle, I thought about this when I was watching the episode. When you're going into battle, you're not going to leave some of your soldiers behind.
Right, exactly.
You're going to bring your whole squad out if you want to win.
That's what Diana said. She was like, look, you know, they want a war. Well, they got one. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it was.
It's like a Trojan horse. They all came out of it. She brought in the entire army.
Yep. And
all
then,
loaded up and ready to go.
And speaking of the entire army, she decided to even bring back the alumni. We got a chance to see 4 of the other girls that were a part of the dolls. They, you know, were very loved. We love them in past seasons. And for them to come back and have this opportunity when they weren't ever able to win a battle royale.
Right.
So this is kind of,
That's really special for them.
Yeah.
It was a moment.
Yeah, it totally was special. And to see Sanjay in the car with her sisters and her being, very candid and saying, I, got kicked out, basically.
I wish that they would do more of that. Like, just kind of behind the scenes. What are the girls thinking? Just on a ride home. And I know that they do some of that with the parents, and it's just like a quick little snippet. But I'm saying I wish they would make that part of the show. And I understand timing and all that. I'm just saying sometimes it would be nice to see even, I know that the girls are friends amongst each other, so just being at home, like, or what are they thinking?
Yeah. Or after school, like, if they're doing their homework together and we're getting a chance to see them outside of dancing and the dolls, like, we get a chance to engage in their personalities a little bit more.
With natural conversation, not the, so how did you think last week went? Last week was hard. What do you think this week's gonna be? This week's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just let's let it just flow naturally, and that's when it's the most enjoyable.
Right. So Miss D also decides to include guys in it. So she's like, literally everyone except for DDP is inside of this battle squad. Yeah. And they all played such an intricate part of it.
Yeah.
But getting over to DDP so we can give them their shine for a little bit, we get a chance to see that everything is about butts, which is such a big thing nowadays.
Especially in the South. Like, well, I mean, it is definitely a thing, just in general.
In the South, they naturally have
But that's
big
what
butts.
I was going to say. Like, naturally, it's a thing in the South, having big butts. But, apparently, Mimi did not get the memo.
Right. Well, she didn't get that gene.
She stood up. She really didn't have a butt.
Yeah.
She didn't have a butt.
She squeezed it. And then squeezed it again. I was like, oh.
Don't do that.
No, Mimi.
But we finally understood someone that I've been waiting to hear all season. I kept thinking, did Mimi or did Selena get her butt done? She looked completely different from when I would, not that I'm staring at her butt, but her body just looked different than the previous season.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that. I did not notice, but I noticed this episode because clearly we're talking about butts and she stands there and I'm like, whoa,
I think they
Selena.
wanted you to notice too, because she kept like standing up and like adjusting her weight.
Yeah.
They were drawing attention to it.
Yeah, Selena's
so Tina even mentions, she's like, Selena got a new butt. Mimi's getting a new butt. Am I going to get a new butt? Did you guys watch Atlanta Plastic?
I did not watch Atlanta Plastic, but I know that was sort of the setup for it, right?
So that was the segue for Atlanta Plastic.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I did not watch Atlanta Plastic, but if any of you guys out there did watch Atlanta Plastic, let us know what you guys thought about the episode, as well as let us know what you guys think about our episode. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. Make sure you give us all the comments that you want answers, or give us some questions that you may want answered, and hopefully, we may be able to get Miss D on by our final episode of next week. That would be
great. Yeah.
So we are doing a final episode.
Yes.
Right?
So next week is the finale.
Okay. Because Eric asked that. Cool. So good to know.
Yes, we will be here for the reunion, is what it's called.
So thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. So DDP, we see they're getting their butts done. That's what's going on in their room, which is funny that they're talking about something so silly on such a high pressured time.
Especially like saying that Mimi's like, as soon as they win Battle Royale, I'm getting
on the
in
freeway.
my car, getting in the freeway, driving straight as if okay.
Well, they needed to take the pressure off of, it was a very intense time. So they needed to take the pressure out or off. So, of course, Selena brings in her different,
sizes, fruits and shapes.
Balloons and whatever.
Pumpkins.
Grapefruits. No, thank you.
Right, like
Selena's the prop master always. She's always got to be the one bringing the costume.
But speaking of contrived scenes, no one said that, but speaking of contrived scenes,
right?
Mimi happened to wear leggings.
Yeah.
So something can fit in her. Did you guys see that? Like, she was wearing jeans before and she happened to wear leggings so something can fit in there with her
pillow.
Okay, that was just me. A pillow. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. She always wears jeans.
Yeah.
Good catch.
See? I be on it. Okay.
You should be a part of the production, Robin.
Listen, when I put my producer hat on, the game changes.
Let Lifetime know where they can find you.
At Robin Ayers, Lifetime, you can find me, because when my producer hat is something serious. I catch all the continuity, if it's off, if it's on, what should be there, what shouldn't. So anyway.
I believe it.
Good. Well, let's get into Battle Royale.
Yes.
Speaking of props, the props that the dolls had for Cameron's 8th Wonder of the World battle or solo were so beautiful.
It was
so beautiful.
And Mimi tweeted a picture of it earlier this week, I think on Monday, and she said this poor girl, that thing was 10 to 20 pounds extra weight that she had to carry on her.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay,
we have the teams.
Girl, go ahead.
Elite Stars of Nashville with Tyrus. We have the Prancing Tigerettes with Quincy.
Yeah.
And then we have the
ID.
What's their name? ID?
Infamous Dancerettes
with John. And then the dolls. So these are the 4 teams that are finally at the finale going against each other. The first 2 teams I think that go against each other were the Elite Stars. No. Did Miss D go against the Elite Stars?
It was.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have my notes. I have to tell everybody. So I don't remember exactly how it went.
Prancerettes and ID.
Okay. So one of the teams, which I can't remember what, came out in the Stormtroopers type of situation, Star Wars, which was such a creative idea.
I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
So we're talking about the solo creative.
Yeah, solo creative and then stand battle.
Yeah.
Right. So solo creative, we had a Stormtrooper situation.
That was Tyrus.
Okay, Tyrus's team. And then the other team, ID, what did they do? They were African. It was more like African, right?
Kind of. They had the guy in brightly colored.
Yeah, it was the bright, colorful, theme.
It reminded me of like a Cuban theme.
Yeah.
And then
that's a good point. Yeah.
Diana, she was really a fan of the guy who was dancing. I was like, not really, but
what they showed us was like, okay, whatever. Like, he didn't.
And
really
I'm not
do
hating.
anything.
So one thing that you guys should know about me is that I don't hate, and I really will give props where they're due. But I just wasn't that impressed by the guy.
Right.
But Miss Diana was. So.
And then the Prancing Tigerettes came out with kind of a Lion King kind of theme, like a lioness, which was funny because the dolls did like an African theme. So compared to all of those 3 teams, the dolls came out with a freaking globe, Cameron's name written in such beautiful, colorful, like psychedelic letters. Their costumes, like I was really proud of the dolls this week. On every single level with their costumes, their props. It was very well thought out of.
So let me just say this. We talk about the music a lot. The music that Lifetime puts in versus the music that they actually dance to. I have to give it up to Lifetime for this specific dance because I don't know what it was, but they had an African type of music that went with her solo creative. And the moment the music came on and the moment that they came out, it was high intensity. It was just like boom, boom. I don't know. It gave me chills. And then, of course, you see everybody going at it. Everybody's doing their dance, and it's just beautiful. It's really, really done great. And then Cameron comes out.
Yep.
Okay,
and
y'all go ahead.
She was like a firecracker. I got a chance to watch the full dance. I found it on Facebook.
Of Creative?
Something. Yeah, of Creative. And it's actually really long. It's probably like 5 minutes.
Is it really?
It's really long. Like, I was like, whoa. It's so many moving parts and so many things before Cameron even came out.
Oh,
so the girls, like, the baby dolls come out, like, all the girls. There's, like, different costumes and them changing in the back and headdresses and, like...
you have to send this video.
Yes. Like, they were literally, like, a whole tribe. And then they wheel Cameron out in that box. And they're kind of wheeling her closer and closer depending on, like, what the formations are. And they finally get in the middle. She comes out. And I have to say, I like the music that they had on Lifetime more than the music that they actually danced to.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like I didn't mind it, but I was like the music that they had on the episode, I was like, this is great. But when Cameron came out of that box, she was lit like a little firecracker.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching her, and I was like, those are those moments when, and then you see Mimi like from the stand, she was like, I couldn't help but scream her name, and I was like getting teary-eyed because I guess more so just because I'm rooting for her. You know, she's had so much pressure. This is her first time being a captain. You know, it's just, I mean, she has so much against her already, so to speak. But she was just getting it. I was like, you better go ahead, Cameron. So that's why I was just like, probably more excitement than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and Miss D even seemed like she was, when she was talking about how Cameron did after her performance, she seemed like she was tearing up. She was getting emotional, too. Before that, just back up for a second, like, I really like Princess with the prancing tigerettes.
Yes.
She did a really great job in what we saw of their, like, lion dance.
Yeah.
And it was, although she seems really young, and we've talked about this before, but like there was some serious, like she was at one move, she was like hands and knees, back arch, and like head whip. It was like kind of stripperish moves, but she's such a great dancer and powerful dancer. I love it every time they show her.
She gives a lot of face. Like she has attitude all the way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of times when you hear them mentioning the teams, they'll say, you know, Prancing Tigerettes, they'll say Elite Stars of Nashville, then they'll say this team, and then they'll say and Princess. Like they make it
like
a
she's
point.
her own entity.
Yeah,
That's what it
like
feels
Princess
like.
is new, Princess is coming, and Princess is gonna give it to you.
They've been talking about Princess for a couple of episodes actually. She's really making a name for herself. I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, maybe that's my prediction. If she just ends up, you know, on a show of her own or something like that. And that's a stretch, but I'm just saying.
She's getting her own butt
good.
implants on Atlanta.
Oh, shut up. No. But, even Brittany had mentioned, like, damn, when she was done, you know, with her performance, she made me want to bow down like she was a queen. Like, she demands the floor and demands attention. And that's what a captain is supposed to do. And oftentimes we've mentioned a lot this season that Cameron needs to have that personality. They seem like they're around the same age.
Right.
They seem like, you know, they're, you know, in the same grade or whatever. But the way this girl puts off that persona, there's adults that are like attracted to her.
Right.
So maybe it's good too that Miss D is comparing her a lot to the dolls, because they can take note and see she has attitude, she has, you know, personality, she does great moves, like she's like freaking a lumberjack.
She seems like she's real tiny too, so I think that's why she's fun to watch, because she's such a firecracker, but she's a tiny person just doing these giant moves.
We don't know her background or how long she's, you know, anything. We don't know anything about her, but I just kind of got to take it back to Cameron real quick. She's come so far.
Yes, she has.
I was just looking at her and her facial expressions and her comfort level and her boldness, and I didn't always feel that way about her.
Me neither.
So I just want to give her props. Yes, Princess, you got it going on, but let's talk about Cameron, because she's dope.
You're right. Yeah. Cameron was completely 100%. And we've been saying it, like I said, all season. Like, come on, Cameron. Like, come on, Cameron. This week, we finally got a chance to really see Cameron. And that's where my tears came from. But majority of the tears and the waterworks came from when her dad was crying.
That was so sweet.
It was like fun. Like, it takes a lot to see a man cry. And to see him so proud of his daughter, I think everyone in that stadium, even if you weren't a fan of Cameron's, you felt emotional for her. You felt, you know, this girl just came out and like killed it. She completely killed it. And speaking of 8 Wonders of the World, I don't know if Ms. D mentioned it in this episode or if I watched it on something after, but I guess Cameron is the 8th captain.
Oh, that's right. She did say that on this episode.
Okay. And what else did she reference it to? Oh, Cameron loves African style dancing. And something else she said, but
she said Cameron's a happy kid.
And I guess Mimi came up with this whole 8th Wonder of the World theme.
Okay.
So
cute.
It was cute.
Well, Cameron, she shows it that she's a happy kid too.
She's always smiling.
Yeah, it's true. So we get to finally the standoff, you know, the stand, and they go. All the teams were freaking nuts. Like,
oh wait, can we real quick talk about the hallway interaction this last time?
Yes,
because I enjoyed that there was no. Even though we had to have it because they always have to throw it in, but they were all just very like. Just what's the word? Just chill with each other, you know.
It seemed like they all were, but Miss D was like, "Didn't I have on those pants last week?" It seems like she's like always on the defense, or ready to throw a little shade, and they're all like, "Hey, you know, just like, what's up?"
Producers were like, "Listen, y'all, this time,
come on, give me something."
This is the finale.
Yeah,
but maybe they heard us on AfterBuzz saying that we need some positivity. Yeah, so maybe they heard us, and
I'm cool with them just being friends.
Me too.
They don't need to be throwing kicks in the hallway.
Yeah, I agree.
What I did love, though, absolutely hands down, 100% was Tyrus's hair. I was obsessed with it. Not for him, but how they had, like, it was like a kaleidoscope on his head. Like, all the different colors was like tie-dye, and then, like, the other colors, like, would fade. Whoever did Tyrus's hair, like, they're fantastic with spray paint or however they did it.
That's funny.
It was really cool. So the battle is crazy, like I said. I think the other teams underestimated Battle Royale, which is different. We've never seen it in a stadium before. Usually, all the other seasons, we've seen them dance on like a theater stage where it's not as big and huge amount of space. Like this Battle Royale, they went all out with the balloons and the streamers.
They did.
And usually before we saw, they always have like a celebrity judge. I don't remember the last, like Kat DeLuna one year, remember?
Yeah.
And then another guy, I can't remember his name.
Right.
He was a British guy. But they always had a celebrity judge, and it was like at a high school or like a school's like theater on a stage. So it wasn't, like I said, a lot of space. But this year they have it in a gymnasium. They don't have a celebrity judge. And it just seemed more like a battle. And I think that's why Ms. D was so adamant, like, let's bring every single girl that we have, even the twins, everybody can get in this, you know, this battle. So I think the other teams underestimated. Maybe they just they were so used to doing, you know, the stage that they thought 8 girls could bring it. But
yeah, and even to take it back, sorry to bounce around a little bit, but to take it back to the creative, the solo creative, when the guys came out. Tell me y'all didn't see the guy flip on his head.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, woo! Like,
no, that was for stand battle, wasn't it?
That was stand battle.
Okay, great.
Stand battle. Because I jumped out of my chair for that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wait, so what team was it that brought this whole other adult squad out?
Yeah.
That was weird,
Was that Tyrus's team?
That was, okay. That was the Elite Stars.
Completely awkward. So I was like, okay, are we watching a drag like dance show? Because it was like all these men with like long ponytails and weaves. So I was like super confused, and then they looked like they were like 40 years old.
Right.
So it was like, where are these people coming from?
Yeah, it was just unnecessary, but I like that Miss Diana got hyped and was like, listen.
Do you like that she got hyped like that?
I've never seen her in the middle of a stand battle get up like that and talk to the girls.
In all honesty, I probably would react the same way. Like, I'm like that though. Like, I would be all up on the floor like, listen,
don't
you know what I'm saying?
Nothing. Don't you get fear? Don't you ever have fear?
I have some agreement in the studio right here. Yes, I would. I'd get all up in there and be like, listen. But I'm like that though. I get passionate, so I could feel her. You know, I definitely.
And maybe they thought by bringing in adult dancers, it would be intimidating to the girls, and so that's probably why Miss D came in like, don't change anything. Don't be scared of these people. They don't have what you guys have, because they didn't. They looked messy and sloppy and all over the place. It's like, did you guys just find them on the street on your way here? They were just dancing in front of Walmart or something.
Yeah, and that's what's, you know, so important about knowing who you are, believing in your strengths, because if you know that without a shadow of a doubt, right? No matter who comes before you, it won't throw you off, because you're so convinced and you just know that you're that powerful that you don't ever trip about who comes in front of you, whether they're men or professional dancers or if it's Beyonce. Yeah, you can have like a moment, but you'd be like, no, we are amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she kind of reaffirmed that for them.
And on the flip side of that other team, whoever did it, they need to be confident in their girls that they don't even have to bring these adults in.
Yeah.
They should have confidence in their girls to know that I have a great team that is look at how we saw 9 teams get knocked down to get to Battle Royale. So you made it here. Why would you get here and feel like you need to bring an adult battle squad from Walmart when you could have just brought your own team who's made it this far anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the previous battle, the Prancing Tigerettes and Infamous Dancerettes, their battle, I thought the Prancing Tigerettes, from what we saw, I thought they were better. But the Dancerettes won,
which is weird. So do you guys think that was one of my questions? Do you think it was staged a little bit, or do you think it was?
I always think it's staged.
Okay.
As pertaining to who is gonna battle against. Absolutely.
But then that means the dolls are gonna automatically win, because it seems like they always put the dolls against the team that's not that great, and always the team that advances will be the team that you'll be like, how the heck did they advance?
Well, these are things that I believe. I believe that they know we've come this far. The dancing dolls have come this far, so they have to battle it all the way out for Battle Royale. That's what I feel, or else the episode would be done.
Right.
If they didn't win, or move past the stand battle, or if they just, I guess it's the
semifinals.
No, I'm talking about when they're dancing against
creative,
the two.
like the solo.
Yeah. Okay. So if they didn't make it past that, then the episode would be done. So that's one thing. They needed to win that episode. The other thing is, they need to be put up against the lesser team. So they're not going to go against the dancing or the Tigerettes. They're not going to go against them quite yet, because they need to go against each other. So
they don't eliminate them on their creative solo.
I'm talking about, so when are we talking about that the two teams go against each other?
Because there's
that's
two
in the
teams, and then the winner of each of those goes against each other.
In the stand battle, not creative solo.
Right, so not creative. I'm talking about the stand battle.
Okay.
So I'm saying they have to dance against the lesser team so that they can go head to head with a great team. I think that part is staged. That part is they're not like pulling sticks or numbers or whatever. I don't think so. It seemed
because so John's team and Quincy's team went against each other. The Tigerettes and the Dancerettes went against each other. And then once the coach's reactions afterwards, John was like, I can't believe we lost that. We shouldn't have lost that. We were robbed. And I was thinking the same thing. And then it goes to Quincy.
And that's with Princess, right?
Yes. And then it goes to Quincy, and he's like, yeah, that's what the judges, we got to go with the judges. And it was almost like he was like, I can't believe we won either.
Right.
That's what it seemed like to me.
And someone mentioned, I was reading some of the comments on Facebook on the Dolls page. Someone mentioned that Miss D needs to branch out. We have the same judges, which before in other seasons, they never had.
Yeah.
They always switched judges.
That.
They always changed up the judges. It was never the same judges. They brought in the celebrity judge who was unbiased. They didn't know the backgrounds of the teams. They literally went off of the ethic of dance. But we have the same 3 judges. We have the same teams that they're always battling against. They're not branching out to dance against any team. We saw one team in California the first episode, but that wasn't even, that was like a street battle. Yeah. Like it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And then we never get a chance for them to see anything outside of the same exact group.
So true. I mean, it's funny. We're right. We are always talking about each captain. We know the captains on each team. Yep. Not really, but pretty much we know the style of dance. We know if they're really good or if they're not, quite up to par. We know all of that. And what's interesting, other dance shows, like for instance, Dance Moms.
Someone mentioned that.
Yeah, they have. You never really know who they're battling against because there's all these different teams from everywhere
around the world.
So I don't know.
Someone did mention that. Someone said just like Dance Moms, they don't dance against the same teams. They don't know, like they don't have any like beef with other teams, so they're not trying to like have a donkey or a horse
earlier
or like
on. They're almost going the opposite way because the earlier seasons they had this beef with the candy apples, but that's kind of just dissolved. They don't really go to that anymore.
Right. It has dissolved. But maybe it's because not every place or every state has like majorette type dance style.
Yeah, but now, I mean, it's the South. Think about, like, there's nothing else to do there. I'm sure there's tons of dance teams. You know what I mean? Like, there's tons of dance teams out there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just saying when we say dance moms, for a good part of it, they have different types of dance styles. So you're going to have hip hop, you're going to have lyrical, jazz, and they can compete in so many different categories.
Here's a question, and maybe I should have asked this a long time ago, but the dolls aren't like affiliated with the girls' high school, right?
No.
No.
So there aren't like divisions. There aren't like you're in our
bracket,
district
right,
or whatever, you know? Like, I don't know if it has anything to do with that.
But it has to be more than just
you
these
guys tell us,
9 teams each week trying to compete. I mean, we do get a chance to see sometimes it's like the Champagne Girls or, you know, like the Concrete Girls of Brooklyn. It'll be like a random team every week, but it's like, I'm sure they're still submitting to compete in these competitions. Like, why don't we get a chance to see them?
Unless they are competing and we just don't see that. Because what I do know in competitions is that they're all day things. They're all day. So maybe they're just not interested in being, you know, on television, or maybe they're just going, I don't know, but I'm saying it could be possible that they are competing.
Pink hair, so the producers are like, no, we're not showing sorry guys.
Right.
You never know.
But something's up with them keeping the same 3 judges.
Yeah.
Well, and the announcer guy, the way he says the other team's names, he'll be like, from Nashville, Tennessee, the lead stars of Nashville or whatever. Then he'll be like, from Jackson, Mississippi, the Dancing Dolls. It's
totally.
And he lives there. He's friends with Miss D. Yeah, I went on his Instagram. He lives there. Wow. He's friends with Miss D, so I'm sure he goes to barbecues and hangs out.
Look at English.
And no telling,
research queen.
No telling what the 3 other judges, if they're friends of them either. And they may want to get on the show because guess what? It boosts them up, and then they could go judge big competitions because it's like, oh yeah, I was on Lifetime, Spring It Here.
Okay,
here I was.
English. Okay, we see you and your research
Everyone's
skills.
always on a come up. Everyone's always about on a come up.
You got to be on your P's and Q's.
You never know. You never know. But do we have anything else to say before we get into some news and gossip?
Well, let's talk about the actual
the doll stand battle. Just that.
Can we talk about who won?
Well, we already know who won.
Well, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the fact that
I just gotta say, the guy, I know exactly. I was gonna bring it up, Robin, before that guy comes out and does the like slide back somersault, like pauses on his head for a minute and then boom.
Yes.
I was like,
incredible.
Oh, yes. Hell! I jumped up when he did that. That was so crazy.
It was
that
crazy.
Was amazing. That was awesome. So I have to say this. I was watching the episode with my girls, and Madison and Brooklyn, I think, were all like, woo! Like dancing dolls, woo! Like, you know, they were so into it and so pumped up. So and we were all like having a moment. It was just like great. It was awesome. So it was really cool. I'm very, very, very proud of not only Cameron, because she killed it. I mean, clearly we see why she deserves everything that she has in her captain hat now, you know, and also the entire battle royale. Like they won. They brought it home. Yes.
When those balloons dropped and everything, it was another crying moment because I was so proud of them. The years before, I was so hurt that they didn't win, and I thought that they deserved to win. Yeah. So now it's like, wow, and it really gave such a sense of reality TV because it's like this show is all about them and they don't win the biggest competition of them all. They've been undefeated all season. So how did Neva, the diva, win? How did this team win?
Right, exactly. Keep in mind that per every episode they have hundreds of hours of footage that they need to edit down. So not only do we get to see an hour every week, but there's so much behind the scenes that goes into the work that they put in, into their dances. So when we see the episode, they're practicing their dance. It doesn't show them really learning the dance, the whole, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying there's so much work that goes into it, and so I'm sure that they deserve it. So congratulations.
Congratulations, dolls. We're so proud of you.
Are we losing any members? Do we have seniors moving on?
No.
They didn't mention anything like that.
I don't think so.
Year,
it was actually, we forgot to mention, it was actually good to see Sanjay dance.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me talk about Kayla.
Oh.
Kayla brought her A game.
Yes, she did.
Kayla brought her A game.
It was so refreshing to see her bring out that style of dance, because no one else has it like Kayla.
No one else has it. We haven't seen it since she left as the captain. And I was like, oh, well, she has not lost, she didn't miss a beat.
Oh, no, she didn't.
She's in there teaching the dolls and everything, but she has not missed a beat. So
she hasn't.
I want to just shout out Kayla, because girl, you killed that. That was amazing.
She did kill it. And Sanjay did such a great job.
She did.
It's like,
I need to learn that booty thing that
Sanjay did. Yeah.
When they were showing the 4 alumni practicing, and then they did the death drop, Miss D said something like, don't be scared, get back into it, right?
Yeah.
Didn't she say something like that?
Yeah.
Don't be scared. So
she was saying one of the girls was like scared to do something, and she's like, you actually ended up doing it.
Exactly. Like it had been a while since they had done that.
Yeah, so great job to all the alumni. Okay, now for your news and gossip.
News and gossip. So, news and gossip this week. I was watching, Miss D does a lot of the Facebook live things like you do. And she was talking about how some of the stuff that they don't really have as a ritual or a practice, they've had to accustom to for the show. So, they've never had captain tryouts. She said that that's never existed. Usually, whoever's next in line for captain is whoever's been there the longest.
Really?
Yes. So actually it was 2 girls before Cameron was supposed to get it. It was one girl who I can't remember her name, but she got really injured, so she had to step away from the team. So then Tamia got it. And then Tamia, we saw she had some beef and drama with Miss D and the dolls, so she quit, and now she's on the dancing dolls. On the Purple Diamonds. Then the next person in line was Cameron, so she was automatically gonna get it. So the show wants to build up, the tension, or the wanting to see like, oh, who's gonna get captain. But Miss D said for all the years that she's had the own the dolls, that she's never had captain tryouts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
she feels like if
news.
they've been on the team for that long,
they deserve it.
Yeah, they don't need to try out for it.
Yeah. Plus, I'm sure they've learned all the techniques, all the things that that the dolls teach.
Right.
In addition to knowing the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's someone who can come in who's new, like Faith, for instance.
Yeah.
And if she competed, like, it wouldn't necessarily be fair. She might be good, but she may not know the brand yet.
Right.
Of their style.
Of course. And she also mentioned that, what else did she mention? Oh my gosh, I just drew like 100% complete blank. I was just about to say it, but now I don't remember.
Okay, think about that.
Okay.
Do you know who, what Miss Diana's Facebook is? Don't answer English, because you need to be thinking.
What her Facebook is?
Her Facebook, because she does live videos. So is it just Diana Williams?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, we don't know. Have you thought about it yet? I was trying to give you a moment.
Oh.
But
I was,
anyway,
like,
we know
trying to
that we can
figure
follow her DIANNA Williams, right? Or is it under like Dancing Dolls type of thing?
I think it's Diana. I don't remember.
Okay.
I just searched Dancing Dolls.
Okay.
And that's how I found it. But she had like she was watching the Bring It episode live.
Oh,
and so
okay.
she was like commentating during commercial break, and talking about, the girls, and giving us a little bit of backstory. And that's what I was going to say. Cameron, so just so you guys will know, this is another news and gossip tip. Cameron is going to be the captain for the next 3 years until she graduates as a senior. So there's not going to be
3 years.
Yep.
She's a freshman.
Well, I guess she said for this year, next year and the next year.
Okay.
Because I think Kayla still was on the team technically when she already graduated, right? I think like during summer or something like that, she was still on the team. So yeah, so Cameron is going to be the captain until like 2019.
Very cool. I have to say, Miss Diana has done a fantastic job at her marketing and advertising for the dolls.
Yeah.
So, like, she's everywhere.
And
she just brands herself in that name very, very well. So she's taking advantage of the platform. So.
So we know that the camps are going on, you know, the tour. The summer camps are happening. The tour is happening. She has the dollhouse in Alabama. She has the dollhouse in Georgia. She's redoing the whole entire dollhouse in Jackson, Mississippi. So she's changing the flooring, the walls, and all of that. So it's good to see that she's putting back into...
That's really good. Yeah. That's great.
So that's all the news and gossip I have. Do you guys have any?
I don't have any.
I don't have any either.
But I do have a question.
Yes.
Do you guys have any predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
predictions.
Okay, then I'll go first.
Okay.
I predict that Princess is going to get her own show or show up somewhere on somebody else's show and be like a big deal.
Right.
I also predict that one of our viewers will join one of the camps somewhere around the nation, wherever Dancing Dolls is going to pop up. And they are going to tell us about specifically what you are experiencing. So that is my prediction.
Yeah, I would love to know if any of our viewers go to the camps. Please, like, send... You know, click a little workshop video, tag yourself. We want to see it.
And my prediction would be that you guys are going to tune into the reunion next week. And I think that there's going to be a lot of drama. We got to see Neva's going to be sitting on the couch talking to Miss Diana. They're going to go back and forth. Vivica Fox is hosting it.
Yes, Vivica.
And I think it's gonna be a little drama filled.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some tears.
We're gonna get the hallway scenes times 10.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna get.
And that's my prediction.
I've been waiting for the episode that's nothing but hallway scenes. Just one after the other.
And I'm wondering if you guys know too, if the YCDC team, because I know last year they like announced on the reunion and here's a new episode YCDC, and they had their brand new show and we knew nothing about it. So it was like a surprise. So I wonder if another team, you know, that we've been attracted to or been following, because we didn't even get a chance to see Tracy this season, and that goes into saying, you know, the other teams that try to compete against the dolls, why weren't they included? We didn't get to see Tracy at all, did we?
That's very true. I don't think so. I don't remember.
Oh. Well, what I know is that we will be seeing you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Lifetimes Bring It. We only have one more week with you guys, and we're going to miss you. I'm your host, English Cleveland. You guys can always find me on Instagram at Pink English, as well as on Twitter, English Speaks.
And you can find me on all of my social media platforms at Robin Ayers, but on Facebook, Robin Billion Ayers.
Ooh. Oh, you changed it?
No, it's the same.
I'm on Twitter at Brown Tamra, Instagram at Tamra_blue. How about this Instagram business with them changing the algorithm?
They said it's not true.
Oh, no, I saw an article about it.
They did. Well, somebody put out Instagram that said it's not true.
Oh.
Who knows?
Well, we'll see. So, but until next week, we will see you guys later. Say bye to our studio audience.
Come in. Say goodbye.
Come on in.
Say bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.